Here's a question. What is movie magic? Is it the modern age of digital effects, with giant green screen warehouses being turned into sweeping otherworldly landscapes? Is it hiding Colin Farrell's perfectly symmetrical features under blobs of rubber blubber? Well, yes.
Magic.
But today, we're here to discuss a different type of movie magic, a more analog and old-world approach to making miracles that was brought together by the modern master of realistic movie making, Christopher Nolan. In what I would consider to be one of his best films to date, and maybe even the most obvious parallel between a life in the spotlight versus the obsession that fuels it.
All that we know is he uses a trapdoor. Ah, brilliant. What is going on under that stage?
That's right, folks. Today we're going to take a trip down memory lane and finally figure out once and for all, what is The Prestige really about? 2006's The Prestige follows two magicians who start off as friends and collaborators and even partners, only to be sunken deeper and deeper into their shared obsession to become the best magician of their time. Of course, this creates a conflict that will run the spectrum of casually spying on each other to eventually both being consumed by the secrets they keep to achieve their goals. It's poetic, but also right in line with Nolan's tendencies to write a movie that reflects the filmmaker's own feelings. And that's what we're here to explore today.
If you want Andrew's secrets, you go dig him up and ask him yourself.
Firstly, it's a well-known speculation that all of Nolan's movies are in some way about the price you pay to pursue your dreams. Inception was about a man who spent so long literally chasing dreams, and it cost him his family. The Dark Knight trilogy tells an epic 3-movie story about choosing to sacrifice your own happiness in order to serve the work. And how could we forget Interstellar, which... Nah, I'm not gonna get into it because I literally cannot talk about this movie without crying. But the point is, Nolan knows how to write things that he knows, while dressing the story up in practical effects and pageantry. He's a tried and true filmmaker. But as a result, it leaves me thinking that The Prestige is really no different. I believe this movie wants the audience to witness the dangers of obsession and the pursuit of perfection. Because if there's one thing that Nolan is saying with these incredibly thoughtful stories with smooth and masterful direction, it's that chasing the big life comes at a price. And that price is usually relationships.
Well, it was challenging to conceive at script stage of, okay, well, how do you create the sense of magic without just showing magic tricks? Because magic tricks through the camera can be really meaningless because of camera tricks and CG and all the rest, which the audience is very aware of that possibility. And so we decided to use the narrative itself, to use the story to create the sense of magic, to create the tricks, if you will. Mm-hmm. And then the only magic we see in the film is really done for real, and the actors learned how to do small, productions and vanishes, prestidigitation, these little tricks you do with your hands, because we just wanted to be able to show very casually as a throwaway thing in the film, just the skill that they would have, just to give these guys credibility as magicians. Exactly. That's a fun thing to just see a little throwaway vanish, a little throwaway production.
The film features multiple moments of dialogue with Michael Caine's character, Cutter, who acts as kind of a wingman to Hugh Jackman, a magician's assistant, if you will.
He's a magician, ask him.
In these scenes, Cutter outlines a 3-part structure of a magic trick which sounds very similar to the structure of another form of media that Nolan is all too familiar with.
Every magic trick consists of 3 parts, or acts.
The pledge. The magician shows something ordinary, like a deck of cards or a dove. The first act of the movie usually introduces us to our characters and their own versions of ordinary life. The turn. The magician makes the ordinary thing do something extraordinary, like disappear. The prestige. The magician returns the ordinary thing to its ordinary state, which is the hardest part of any magic trick. In this movie, the prestige is never really earned. It's an ugly, vicious truth that twists the story into paranoia and pure anxiety. It shows that in order to pull off the prestige, you have to be willing to do whatever it takes to keep the illusion intact.
Because making something disappear isn't enough. You have to bring it back.
The scenes not only draw parallels between stage magic and filmmaking, it also blatantly tells us everything we need to know about the true meaning of the movie. Films, filmmaking, storytelling, magic tricks. At the end of the day, it's all an act. A lie. A show for the layman.
Total devotion to his art. Utter self-sacrifice. You know?
But Nolan takes it beyond that. He shows what can come from living these carefully manufactured constructs that we present as our lives and life's work.
You're a magician, not a wizard. You've got to get your hands dirty if you're going to achieve the impossible.
Borden and Angier are both hiding from the pain of the real world by taking solace in their obsessions. Kind of like, if I can just achieve this, then I'll be happy.
I need something impossible.
But that very obsession that they see as their own salvation becomes nothing more than a well-built coffin made of secrets. They both go on without anyone ever truly knowing who they were, and the only thing the world would remember is the show, the act.
Well, hasn't good come of your obsessions?
At first, but I followed them too long.
While we all love a little sleight of hand and showmanship, what a modern audience really wants to know when we're watching something spectacular is how. And to go a step further, Nolan poses the question of why.
It's a movie which really does involve immersion completely as an audience member. You know, you have to stick with it. You have to pay attention to what is going on.
Because all the clues are there.
And they're there, but what I love about it is that in the same way that when I've read the script first, I wanted to read the script straight away again.
Yes.
Because what you realise by the end of it is not only are you watching a movie about magicians and their rivalries, you know, and it's not so much about magic tricks. It's not really about showing that, except for this one particular one, which causes the rivalry between the two of us. But that the entire movie itself is a magic trick.
Yeah. As Michael Caine so eloquently put it, it's a movie you don't want to take a piss during, right? Because you need to be watching you don't want to miss one beat of it.
He's not talking about the actors in the movie.
No.
As an audience. You
don't want to leave to take a piss. That's better.
Exploring the raw ambition of these two magicians is where the film gets its best thrills. Whether it's the sabotage of each other's acts in order to maintain some sort of edge, or it's the incredible appearance from David Bowie as Nikolai Tesla, who builds Angier a real-life teleportation machine, the movie really wants to show us these incredible performances that the audience hails as miracles. But they're really nothing more than a couple of madmen with something to prove to each other and maybe themselves. And the fucked up thing is that they'll sacrifice anything or anyone to get it.
They flatter you with all those chains, Alfred. Don't they know you can't escape without your little rubber ball?
Now, you may not know this, but before I was doing this gig, I was a professional magician. I spent some years working behind the scenes with many of the world's best illusionists and have seen how lonely it can be being the engineer of a show that nobody is supposed to understand. And to answer Nolan's question of why, I guess it's the same reason that he makes movies, or that I spend 4 hours a day shuffling cards. Because we can't let it go. We need the obsession to give us purpose and meaning and something for the world to remember us by. So, if you ask me, The Prestige isn't just a movie about filmmaking, it's a movie made to show us the darkness behind movie magic so we can understand that the bright lights and silver screens are just one part of it all. And the rest of it, well, it's simply not for the faint of heart.
Hey, what am I holding?
Your watch.
Hello and welcome to Friday Night Flicks. My name is Kier Gomes, and thank you all for being here and spending some of your Friday with me. Hope everyone out there is doing okay. Looks like the chat is already pretty active, so let's keep that going, guys. Some of you caught from the not so subtle thumbnail and title of the video. Tonight, among other things, we are going to be talking about the recently released Oscar nominations. That's right. Yes, we are. In fact, I think we're going to start with that because I have thoughts, you know. But first, let's put on some music. Let's get in a nice chill vibe. I'll select "Chill" is the name of this back track. I'm going to turn that down. All right. And as usual, you guys let me know if the music levels are too high. I'm already vibing. Illuminated Pro, thank you for being here. Illuminated Pro says, a real pain got a Best Picture snub. Could not agree more. Really good movie, especially considering that was a freshman effort. That was Jesse Eisenberg's first. It was his directorial debut. You know, if you guys haven't seen that movie, it's on Hulu now. Go check it out. Ooh, I love it. Bootzilla, hello. What up, guys? Thank you all for being here. History Lover says, "I'm so happy A Complete Unknown did so well at the nominations. I love that movie." Confession, as big of a Bob Dylan fan as I am, I still haven't seen it. I've been real busy. What's up, everybody? Thank you all for being here. Some of these comments are already making me laugh. So, guys, tonight's going to be a good night. It's going to be a little bit of variety. I definitely want to talk about the Oscar nominations, but I have a few other topics that I kind of want to dive into. But mostly, I figured it would just be fun to kind of wrap with you guys, see what you guys want to talk about. So, throw your thoughts in the comments. If you want to talk movies, if the topic's interesting, I'll bring it up and we'll talk about it. There we go. Alistair Campbell has the right idea. I'm snubbing the Oscars this year. Some BS going on. It's a weird year, I think, for the Oscars. I agree. Yeah. All right. Speaking of, let's just take a look. You guys want to take a look at if you haven't seen the noms yet, let's just take a look see, shall we? Here we go. We out here. All right, now let's do this. It's kind of a boring screen to just be looking at. What's up, everybody? Joe Holiyome? Yes, this is live. We're live right now, man. It's the future. We're doing it. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to get to more of these comments. You guys are making me laugh already, but let's take a look at some of these. The big one, the one that kind of, every year takes the most, everybody dives deepest into their opinions on this one, is the Best Picture nomination. The overall, what was the best movie of 2024 according to the Academy and their so reliable taste in movies. But this year, there's some surprises, honestly. So, Anora, Sean Baker's latest film, for me, I kind of expected to see this in the Oscars. I didn't know if it would get in Best Picture, so I'm glad it is. If you guys haven't seen Anora, that's one kind of like this show. That's one for mommy and daddy. Maybe one you don't watch with the kids. We've got The Brutalist. Everybody expected that one to be in there. That obviously The Brutalist is kind of that's kind of the movie this Oscar season that it just has the most buzz. It has the most. It's kind of that one and like Amelia Perez, which we're going to talk about. Next, we've got A Complete Unknown, of course, nominated for Best Picture, which is great. I do think it's interesting. I still haven't dedicated my time to the movie. I'm going to get to it, and I am looking forward to it. But I am a little bit surprised, even having not seen it, to see it in Best Picture. I knew it would get nominated for stuff, but that's kind of another one just interesting to me. Then we've got Conclave. That's the Ralph Fiennes vehicle from the year. A great buzz on that movie. Also one that I haven't seen. I'm not really into like religious drama. That's a genre that for me literally does nothing. So I'll get to it eventually, but I want to wait for some of the hype to simmer down. Okay, which is not going to happen until after the Academy Awards. Dune Part 2, obviously, like this one I think it was a surprise to a lot of people, but to me, this was the one that got in for us. This is the one. I'm not saying I'm like, the biggest Dune fan or anything, because I'm not, but this was one that for the blockbuster movie lover, this was our entry. They did that one for us. And then we have Emilia Perez, which if you guys haven't seen this movie, it's a Netflix film. It's a musical about a transgender drug lord who kind of goes from sinner to saint. Kind of that's the plot. Now, this movie I have seen not once, but twice. I have seen Emilia Perez twice, and I believe I am the only person in the world who enjoys this movie, because I really enjoy this movie. But with that being said, I don't know how it got into 13 categories this year. Spoiler alert. As much as I do think this movie is good, I don't think this is an Oscar movie. At least not Best Picture. This is not a Best Picture movie. If it wins Best Picture, every other movie, it's going to feel like it got snubbed. No offense. I like the movie. I'm the one who likes it. But it's, come on. You can't be giving it Best Picture at the Oscars. It's just not. I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys. Those are also two movies that I want to check out but have not seen. I have heard great things about Nickel Boys, and I fully expect that one to get somewhere in cinematography. So, The Substance, that would be my pick for Best Picture, only because that's my favorite movie on this lineup. That's a movie that I think I would be most likely to continue watching. So, it's not going to win. It's not going to win Best Picture, but it might win some of its categories. And then Wicked, which I enjoyed. I enjoyed Wicked. I don't think it's a Best Picture. I think if I had to guess which one was going to get it, it'll probably be Conclave or The Brutalist. And if I had to pick which one should get it, I would go with Anora or The Substance. There you go. It's kind of a sad list, though. Huh? Like, just looking at it, there's just so many great horror movies getting ignored, as usual. Okay. What do we got next? Performance by an actor in a leading role. Now, Best Actor. This is also kind of a big category, but to me, this one is the ultimate popularity contest. This one is going to be who had the best social media buzz. That person is probably going to be the winner. So we have Adrian Brody with The Brutalist. We're actually going to come back to that. We have Timothée Chalamet for A Complete Unknown. And we have Coleman Domingo for Sing Sing, Ray Fiennes for Conclave, and Sebastian Stan for The Apprentice, not for A Different Man. Weird. Let's talk real quick. Okay, so Adrian Brody for Best Actor. I want to know what you guys think about the recent scandal. Okay. Adrian Brody obviously gave an amazing performance in The Brutalist. If you guys haven't seen that one, that's a movie that comes with an intermission, which if we're going to keep doing this thing about making movies, 3-hour plus sagas, you're going to want more intermissions in your movies for sure, especially if it's dense material, Yeah, Joe Nosferatu is snubbed. I think it came out either a little too late in the year or it was just a little too horror for the Academy to acknowledge, which is bullshit if you ask me. Yeah, John Kim. Yeah, I guess we know what his most successful typecast is. John Kim says Brody winning 2 Oscars, both for Holocaust movies. Yep, that is correct. If he wins this one. Now, Adrian Brody recently, he's all the talk for Best Actor at the Oscars, but we recently did an article, and if you guys want to see it, I can maybe find it later. One of the editors of the film briefly in an interview mentioned that they used a little bit of AI to tweak Adrian Brody's accent in the film to really nail some of those subtleties that, unless you're native to the area, are just not natural sounds for your voice to make. What are my thoughts on that? Well, it's interesting because personally, yeah, I think it is a little bit of a cheat to use AI. I think if you couldn't, and I'm not saying I'm not saying that Adrian Brody doesn't deserve the Oscar just for this. I just mean if the accent being perfectly nailed was that important, then maybe more time was needed to prepare. But if it were me, I would have been if it sounds good enough, that it's not going to offend people from that area on how bad it is, then let's just do the accent as good as we can do it. I don't think that like he deserves to be disqualified for this, but I definitely think that needs to be something we think about. If he didn't fully all the way, even if it was 99% all the way him, if that 1% was a computer's performance, I don't know. It's kind of like an eye for incomplete, if you ask me. So I don't know. Some of you guys don't care about that. Some of you do. I personally, I think it should be in the conversation. This one's for you guys watching. That was just to keep you entertained. Hopefully everybody's still with me. Ooh, okay. Let me pull. You know what? Let me pull myself back up, and then I'm going to pin this comment. This is a juicy comment from Alistair Campbell. I don't think Netflix films should be eligible for Oscars. They don't go through the full theatrical run, didn't and don't get physical media releases, so why should they be eligible for awards? That's an interesting point. I don't know what my thoughts are on that, because really what it comes down to is just the distribution of the movie, which I think, you know, I don't think the movie's distribution deal should specifically determine whether or not it's eligible for awards, you know? Especially because inevitably, you know, there's good streaming service movies out there, you know? Like I'm thinking of Ending Things as a great screenplay. Really good. Could have been nominated for awards if it wasn't so weird. And I would have agreed. So I don't know, but I think you have a point in that it's weird that like a streaming movie that didn't go through the prestige release of cinema gets the Cinematic Achievement Award. But I also think like if the movie's really good, it shouldn't come down to who distributed the movie. You know? Illuminated Pro agrees though with Alistair. Yeah. Ben Dover, again, great name. I say that to you every show, Ben. Great name. Benjamin Dover says, does snubbing a film about Transylvania count as anti-trans? Obviously, that's a joke. It's very funny. But since Nosferatu didn't get in any categories, yes. Yes, the Academy is afraid of Transylvania. How did I do the card trick? Well, I can't tell you how I did the card trick. Sam Parker, you know, that's like the number one thing with magic is they're like, you're not supposed to tell anyone how you turn one thing, like this card here, into something else. I might have done it a little too slow. Yeah. Ooh, I don't know. Yeah. See, now we're getting more narrow with the qualifications on the release of movies. I'm not sure. I leave it to you guys in the comments. You guys, whatever your opinion is, you're probably right. You know, I don't know. If it were me, if I had to choose who I think should get the Best Actor Oscar, I gotta see A Complete Unknown because I heard Timothée Chalamet was really good as Bob Dylan. I love Bob Dylan, so if he does a great job, you know, that would be great. If I had to choose somebody though, I would have to I don't know, maybe Coleman Domingo for Sing Sing. I think we should give him Best Actor. You know, I like Coleman Domingo. I think he's had a really interesting couple of years, and I'm really looking forward to see what's good with him in the future for sure. Cartoon Man making predictions over here. Yeah, Bootzilla, this is a good point. This is kind of what I was saying, right? Like, it doesn't matter if it's a small part of the performance. The actor still has to perform and act. I think the actor has to, like, to me, I would just feel like if you didn't do 100% of the performance, then maybe somebody who did do 100% of a great performance should get that Oscar, you know? That's fair to me. So, yeah, if you guys agree, I think it's just, it needs to be in the conversation. I think it needs to be something that gets defined and soon of how much of a, like, if you have an actor win, like, you're not going to win Best Actor if you just do a voiceover for something, right? Because the physical performance is not you. And so I kind of feel like that's almost this. It's like having your lines, even if they're dubbed by an AI, I feel like they're just, you know, I don't know. Yeah. All right, now we got a Best Supporting Actor. Now I like this category. This is my kind of category because people, while they have their opinions, I think the supporting role is always the more interesting one to debate. because they have, you have good supporting roles that have impact and weight to them. And I think that's, it's fun. Where best actor, sometimes it's kind of obvious, or you expect too much and none of the options do it for you. But in supporting role, you always get some good gems. John Kim, this is a good point on the Adrian Brody AI talk. What about using a stunt double, or a body double, or a stunt person? Oh boy. Oh yeah, and then History Lover says Remy Malek lip synced Freddie Mercury and he won. So I think the Oscars doesn't give a fuck about the AI. It seems like some of you guys don't give a fuck either. So that's, again, I leave it to you guys. So here's who we have for best supporting actor. We have Yuri Borzov for Anora. We have Kieran Culkin, A Real Pain. That would be my pick. Edward Norton, A Complete Unknown. Guy Pearce for The Brutalist. Jeremy Strong for The Apprentice. Now, Jeremy Strong for The Apprentice might get the award just because on a performance level, it's one of those unrecognizable performances that people talk about. I think even more so than Sebastian Stan playing Donald Trump. So I think that, I don't know. I think it could go either way between maybe Jeremy Strong for The Apprentice or ideal for me, I would love to see Kieran Culkin win Best Supporting Actor, because I also would love to see Kieran Culkin give a speech accepting an Oscar. You guys if you know Kieran Culkin, you've seen him accept his Succession Awards, his Emmys. You want that dude to give a speech. It'll be fun at the Oscars. It'll change things. I think if Kieran Culkin gets to give an acceptance speech for Best Supporting Actor, it'll be like this year's Oscar slap, but in a good way. Yeah, exactly, Bootzilla. It's a succession battle. Yep. This is my here's a clip I curated for you guys. This is actually a rare footage. Let me pull myself back up so you can see. This is rare footage. It took me a little while today, but I did find a clip for you guys. I did find a clip of Adrian Brody reacting to his nomination for Best Actor. So if you guys want to see that.
Yeah, I'm gonna get one for show. For show. I'm getting that for show.
Come on. You didn't think I actually had unseen footage of Adrian Brody, did you? If I did, I definitely would have put that instead. But no, that was my idea of Adrian Brody talking about winning the Oscar. Yeah, Sam, it would be cool if Kieran Culkin pulled Macaulay Culkin on stage, but why would he do that? Home Alone came out, 30 years ago, man. It's not it would be cool. I would love it because I love the Culkins, but there'd be no reason to do that. It'd be funny. All right, now Best Actress. We have a few heavy hitters for this one, okay? So we have Cynthia Erivo for Wicked. Cynthia Erivo did great. I liked Wicked. I don't think she was the best performance in the movie, but I also think that maybe she was the best performance in the movie. As somebody who's not a fan of Ariana Grande, even though I think her performance was fine, maybe Cynthia Erivo was my favorite. But I also think she has kind of bad social media presence sometimes, and more and more as time goes on, the Oscars and who's nominated, a lot of their viral buzz is dependent on that, which is why I think Demi Moore might be getting it, But we also have Carla Sofia Gasson for Emilia Perez. We have Mikey Madison for Anora, of course. We have Demi Moore for The Substance, and Fernanda Torres for I'm Still Here. I think any one of these would be good. I think any one of these is a good win, and I wouldn't argue them. I think, though, again, it's weird that Emilia Perez keeps making it into these categories because it's a great performance. I'm the person who likes this movie, so I shouldn't shit on it, and I'm not going to, but it's not an Oscar-worthy performance. It's just not that kind of thing, at least not to me. So if I had to give it to anybody, I'd say give it to my girl, Demi Moore, okay? The popcorn actress herself. Let her take home an Academy Award. She deserves it. She's been in this business a long time, and we all love Demi Moore. History Lover, I'm with you. Alistair Campbell, I'm with you. Illuminated Pro, I'm with you. And Anthony Hoffman, I'm kind of with you. I'm kind of with you on that one, Anthony. I don't know. The Oscars every year seem more and more rigged, don't they? It's like I don't know. It's like I heard the VMAs last year were the same way, or some award show. It's like the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight, just rigged to the teeth. All right, Best Supporting Actress. We have Monica Barbaro for A Complete Unknown, Ariana Grande for Wicked, Felicity Jones for The Brutalist, Isabella Rossellini for Conclave, Zoe Saldana for Emilia Perez. I did love Zoe Saldana in that movie. She was my favorite part of that whole movie. My least favorite part was Selena Gomez. Unfortunately, she was the worst part of that movie, and I have no beef with her. She just wasn't good in it. What do you guys think about this? Is actually a good. This is good. This one I don't have any real beef with. If I had to give it to anybody for this one, I'd say let's give it to Felicity Jones. No, I'd say let's give it to Ariana Grande, just so that we can say Academy Award-winning actress, the girl who sang Seven Rings. The fuck out of here. What world are we living in now? At least it was a musical. I'm gonna chill. At least it was a musical. Fuck me, man. Best Animated Feature, Flow, Inside Out 2, Memoir of a Snail, Wallace and Gromit, A Vengeance Most Foul, and The Wild. I actually saw all of these. Holy shit, I saw all of these movies, and I enjoyed all of these movies. For this one, I liked Memoir of a Snail the most. That movie, if you guys didn't see Memoir of a Snail, not everybody's going to like it. It's a claymation movie. It's very sad. It's an Australian film. It's extremely dreary and depressing, but I loved it. I thought it was so good. Gilberto, hello. Thank you for being here. What's up? What's up? Yeah. Yeah, Felicity. Yeah, I agree. Would be cool. Yeah, it seems like everybody wants Demi Moore. You know what I say is if Demi Moore doesn't win, if Demi Moore doesn't win the Oscars, it's a real, like, one of these moments. This is if Demi Moore doesn't win the Oscar. Not to her, to the Academy. The Academy blew it. Yeah, but this is, I don't know, this category is good. Sorry, I'm just reading your guys' comments, and I don't disagree with anything. Pixar will always get it. I don't know, man. I think The Wild Robot might get it this year. I want The Wild Robot to get it this year. That's what I want. Illuminated Pro, for reference, what's your favorite animated movie ever? It's hard to say my favorite. I'm really big into animation and cartoons, but James and the Giant Peach is one of them. It's a hybrid animation. That's got to be one of them. I don't know. I really enjoyed like Ratatouille is probably my favorite like Pixar style movie. That movie has like a really intense effect on me. I don't know why that is. I love the Into the Spider-Verse movies. I would say like animation wise, that's my favorite vibe. But claymation too. Like the way I love James and the Giant Peach. If you like James and the Giant Peach, Illuminated Pro, then you will like Memoir of a Snail. That's my kind of, if I had to compare the two on a level, that would be it. Yeah, dude, The Wild Robot was so fucking good. Fink the Fox was incredible. When do I think Sandler will win Best Actor? The only times he could have won it were Punch Drunk Love and Reign Over Me. Those are the two times he turned in performances that were Oscar worthy, and he didn't get either one, so never. Sandler ain't getting an Oscar. If I had to pick one of these to win, I would say The Wild Robot. Memoir of a Snail was my favorite, but I think The Wild Robot, just as a cinematic achievement on that level, that's a movie. You know, the soundtrack was really good. It had an original song in it, which is kind of annoying, but like it was kind of catchy too. So, best animated short film, I didn't see any of those, so I don't have an opinion. And then this is the last one I really care about, or the last two that I really care about, and that is achievement in cinematography. The Brutalist, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, Maria, and Nosferatu. So Nosferatu got something, but I don't. There's so many movies that I feel could have been in this, maybe that should have been in this, that weren't. You blew it! So again, to the Academy. There you go.
You blew it!
Give it to you one more time. I think it's interesting that Emilia Perez is nominated for Best Cinematography because while it was okay and sweeping, you know, it was very like grand, it's just not that kind of movie, you know? It's good that Dune Part 2 is what needs to win. This needs to win Best Achievement for Cinematography. If it doesn't, that's a snub. That would be a hell of a snub. I would like to see Nosferatu win an Oscar, but I would like to see it win like you know, I would have liked to see it nominated for something better, like Best Actress for Lily Rose Depp. I think it's kind of a snub. In fact,
you blew it!
We're gonna give another one. One more for not having Lily Rose Depp in the nomination for Best Actress. I hope you're listening, Hollywood, when I say these things. Okay. And let's see. Lastly, we have. Okay, this is the last one that I want to cover for this because the rest of them, whatever, you know, like Best Director. If it were up to me, it would be Sean Baker, but I could see Brady Corbet winning that one easily, and I don't know. But for costume design, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Gladiator 2, Nosferatu, and Wicked. This is one that's surprised. I don't think Gladiator 2 really belongs in here because the costume design, while it is like important because it's a period piece, same reason for like A Complete Unknown. Period pieces, the costumes are important, but like for the Greek, I mean, like it's nothing groundbreaking. The costumes in Gladiator Part 2 are not groundbreaking costumes. They're not like, you know, they weren't like the standout thing of the movie. It's weird that it was nominated for this and not something else. Might have got like Best Set Design, which half of it's fucking CGI anyway. So should a CGI set count as best film sets? I don't know. But let's move on. You know, we're gonna move on from this. Before I get too heated on the Oscars, I have other things that I want to talk about with you guys. So let's move on to the next one. A little transition here. All right. We have a few other things that we're gonna get to tonight. This is kind of gonna be, it's the back half of the show already. Yeah, I hope Nosferatu wins something, Alistair. I completely agree. Brian says that, yeah, Wicked is a lock for costumes. Yeah, I think this just the amount, you know, there's so many characters in that movie and they all are in kind of these unbelievable detailed costumes. So yeah, Hitman was highly underrated this year. Brian, are you making, I don't know if you're making a joke. I thought it was okay, but I didn't think it was like good, like great. It's fine. I didn't like it more than I liked like Fletch or other movies of that vibe, but it did kind of make me think that Glenn Powell would make a good Fletch. So I guess it did that for me, for what it's worth. Now, for those of you that care, you know, if you care about the Oscars, you probably are also aware that this live is happening during the Sundance Film Festival. And instead of being at Sundance, I'm here with you guys. So I say that like it's a bad thing. It's a great thing that I'm here with you. But we did get an update. We have Chris Bumbray out in the field right now, and he sent us a little update from Sundance. Mostly just an excuse to feature Chris on the show because you guys
Hey
know
everybody,
we love
it's
him.
Chris
So,
Bumbray
here's-
here, your editor-in-chief for JoeGlow.com at the Sundance Film Festival, as you can see by the lovely sign here. And you guys would call it a beanie, but I call it a toque, my Sundance hat. Anyway, seeing lots of interesting movies, got a ton of reviews
yeah,
coming
don't
out.
forget Chris is Canadian, so
Probably
he calls that beanie on
early
his
next
head.
week is when most of them are going to drop because I'm under embargo on a lot of the films, but I've seen some great stuff so far and excited to tell you all about it. I just hope one thing though. I hope that
I think Chris is
our
wearing
host
new
Kier
glasses.
Gomes
What do you guys think?
is wearing a gold chain tonight because if he's not, well, I'm going to be very disappointed. Anyway, make sure to check out my reviews and
We will, Chris. We'll check out your reviews, but yeah, we knew Chris was going to mention the gold chains thing, right? That's Chris's his thing is to I don't know, how do you guys read it when he does it? Is Chris making fun of me when he's talking about the gold chains, or is he like, does he think it's cool? I've asked him point blank and he says he thinks it's cool, but would he tell me the truth? That's what we don't know. Speaking of telling you guys the truth, there's something that has been on my mind tonight, and I have been avoiding it. And sometimes I shuffle cards when I'm nervous because there's something I've been wanting to tell you guys. Something important that I've been wanting to share. And I don't want to feel judged, so I guess I just figured the live stream was the best place to do it. So I created a new segment on the show called Cinema Confessional. We're going to talk about it. Nervous. But I have a confession. I'm going to do this with you guys every once in a while, where I just tell you something about myself that I think I'm going to catch heat for, and we're just going to take it from there. And tonight's confession that I had to get off my chest was, despite my love for Spider-Man, I'm not a fan and was not a fan of Spider-Man No Way Home. And in fact, I blame Spider-Man No Way Home for the dip in quality that the MCU has had. Now, there's two outcomes to this. There's three, really, outcomes to this, okay? The three outcomes, basically, it's going to be one out of three things, okay? Number one, there's going to be some of you that are like, yeah, I agree. It wasn't great. Maybe you're right. That's cool. Then there's going to be people that tell me that I suck and I'm an idiot and I can go fuck myself and all this other, rhetoric. Here's the thing. The third outcome is really what I'm all about here. Let's take a second, okay, to let me explain, and then we react. And then that third subcategory of people are going to be people that go, look, I disagree with you, but it's okay, and I don't hate your guts. Oh, man, look, I already upset Christian. No. Thank you. History. Look, okay, but for everyone that hates me, some of y'all are going to love me. So let's talk about it, okay? What's my beef with Spider-Man No Way Home? Because let me, just for the sake of visuals, pull up some, because it's a hefty statement to be making. My beef with the movie is this. Ooh, Cinema Confessions After Dark. Yeah, that's way cooler. Sam, I might steal that, and if I do, I'll credit you. Here's my beef. This is my beef right here. This is what, in my opinion, caused a dip in quality for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, I don't hate this movie. I'm just not a fan of it, and I do think it led to more bad than good. Okay? Look, let's get a few things out of the way. Yes, I like Tobey Maguire. I like the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies. Yeah, I think the Amazing Spider-Man movies had potential. I think the first one was okay, and I think the second one, kind of just, I don't know. I think it was cool looking, but that's about it. Yeah, History Lovers, the multiverse. And I, Tom Holland Spider-Man, I think is great. But here's the problem that I had is what this movie did was it said, let's market this movie around its Spider-Man trilogy, and let's slowly let it leak and simmer that the other two boys are going to be joining us. Okay. And then there's this big hype train, which I was one of the many people that was so excited for the possibility of exactly what I'm looking at right now. All three generations of Spider-Man together. I thought that would be sick. But I also think that what happened was because we all thought it would be sick, and then it was in the movie, I expected it to be meaningful. I expected it to really be good. And I will say, I liked the Andrew Garfield arc. I like that he got to catch MJ, because he didn't get to catch his Gwen Stacy. I get that. Everything you guys are going to say, I've heard from people over the years since the movie came out. Okay. I promise you, it's not for lack of enjoying the moments in this movie that are good. But what I think ruined the MCU was then Marvel went, you know what? We got to do this every time. We're not just going to bring in old Spider-Man. Why don't we throw out rumors that we're going to do the Tom Cruise Iron Man that never happened? Why the fuck would we want that in a movie, in a real movie that we're supposed to take serious? You're bringing in memes, dead memes from the past as nostalgia bait to try to get money. And to me, you got to come with something a little sexier than that if you want to sell me Spider-Man. Okay? Bring me pictures of Spider-Man. But good ones only. Okay? Well, Alistair, you're behind. Well, spoiler alert. Spoiler alert, Alistair. All three Spider-Man are in it. You get Andrew, you get Toby, you get Tom. I just think that the movie made so much money off of this gimmick that now every Marvel movie needs that gimmick in it. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, the only reason I even went to go see that movie was for the cameos. And spoiler alert again, I was let down by that because the movie didn't surprise me. You know, it didn't have enough substance to be like, well, other than that shit, it was good. The whole thing to me was flat because it's just a bunch of cameo. They feel like Saturday Night Live sketches or they feel like Super Bowl commercials. And I blame all of that on Spider-Man No Way Home. And I hope the next Spider-Man has the fucking guts to just keep it mellow, you know? It's not going to happen. It'll be cool if Daredevil's in it. Then I'll be happy. But, you know. Yeah, it's like that horrible CGI Nicolas Cage cameo in The Flash. Which, you know, like, again, it would have been cool if it was real Nicolas Cage. But the CGI cameo ruins it. It's like, this isn't what you want in the movie. It's like saying it's not what you want, but it's going to get close. Well, it's not what I want. So, you know. Now, I know that this is going to lead to a lot of you being upset, which is why
I did not care for The Godfather. What? Did not care for The Godfather.
How can you even say that?
I did not care for The Godfather. What? Didn't care for The Godfather. It insists upon itself. Yeah, the Marvel Multiverse, but that's the thing. The Marvel Multiverse could have been good. They just fumbled it because they were like, the key to the multiverse is old cameos. It worked for Deadpool 3 because Deadpool 3 had better cameo, like Blade. If you're going to do one that we all want to see. Blade. That's a good one, you know? They did Elektra. I didn't care at all about that. I hated the Elektra movie, and I hated Jennifer Garner as Elektra in the Daredevil movie. So that cameo was bullshit. But, you know, Chris Evans as Johnny Storm, that's fun. Blade, Wesley Snipes, that was cool. Gambit, I have my own. I got thoughts. I didn't love the Gambit thing. Yeah. Robert Downey Jr., huh? I kind of thought about as a joke for my DC fan casting a few episodes ago. I thought about doing like the fan casting episode, but then just doing Robert Downey Jr. as every character. All right, let's take a look at what we got next. There's a few things, I guess, while we're kind of on the topic, while we were talking about DC, and while I have y'all captive, there was a few other movie news kind of things that I wanted to get into, and then we have some other stuff. I also think it would be fun if you guys want to do a little Q&A, a little Ask Me Anything. Let me know in the comments if you're interested in doing that, because if so, I have a segment prepared we can do at the end of the show, but I don't want to do it if you guys don't care. But if you want to do like a little Q&A for me, a little Ask Me Anything, just let me know if you're interested in the comments. Okay, so yeah, on the topic of comic book stuff, here's something that I was excited about, and I'll try to kind of read the room here, gauge the audience, but I don't know. I mean, were any of you guys that excited about the? It used to be called Spider-Man Freshman Year, but now it's called Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man cartoon. Because I was really excited for this, but I haven't really heard a lot of buzz from anybody. So yeah, Brian, I agree. Bringing back RDJ is a sign of desperation. I'm not saying he won't be good, but I just don't think he'll be great. Okay, so some of you guys do want to do a Q&A. Cool. Yeah, let me know if you guys are down. Comment. Just let me know, like, if you're interested, and then we'll get to questions later. But we have early reviews for Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, which is the new title of the show. When this trailer came out, I saw a lot of people hating on it, saying that it was like the animation was weird and they just didn't fuck with it and whatever. I actually thought it was kind of sick. Like, I saw the animation, and it looks like the kind of animation like I would aspire to do. It looks like my style of animation, just very kind of 2D, old kind of has like almost like the X-Men 97 flavor, which is why I thought it was weird. Everybody loved X-Men 97 and the animation. But this kind of, it looks similar, maybe a little more scrappy. It's kind of a blend of like, I don't know. It's kind of a blend of like X-Men 97 and like certain like Across the Spider-Verse 2D. but I think it looks kind of cool. And I've been looking forward to it. So I then hear, oh, hello, the Danny MB Network. Thank you for being here. Welcome back. Welcome back. So the early reviews are in for this TV show. Now, this comes out next week, like next Friday or something like that, or, you know, like in 5 days, something like that. The reviews are looking okay. The reviews are looking okay. Like, we have some Alex Mady. He's one of our very own from Joe Blow. Marvel Studios has done it again with another solid reinventing of Spider-Man. Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man is a retro animated blast that holds its own with any live-action entries in the MCU. A winning series in every way. Thanks, Alex. What about Eric Swan, who says, I was also pleasantly surprised that your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man gave off vibes similar to cartoons I watched on Saturday. This is exactly what I was saying. Cartoons that I watched on Saturday mornings and weekday afternoons as a kid in the 2000s. The series has potential, and I'm curious to see what Jeff Trammell and co. do with season 2. Yeah, this is a generally, it's being well received. It's saying that you're going to want more seasons. It's creative. It's cool. It makes me excited for this TV show even more than I already was, because for me, I kind of was like, I didn't understand when the trailer came out. It seemed like it was like legitimately catching hate. Like, people maybe weren't looking forward to it, and I thought it looked cool. And now that I'm seeing that these reviews are cool, people seem to like the cartoon. I mean, like, maybe this will help too as a reference point. I thought X-Men 97 was incredible. I thought it was a damn near perfect kind of revival to the 96, the 90s X-Men animated series. I thought it was perfect. So I'm hoping if I can get just like a similar flavor for that here, I'll be happy. You have to drink these before they get warm. I love these things, but if you don't drink it when it's cold, it is really sour and kind of tastes like vinegar. Yeah, they're trying to bring back the Saturday morning cartoon crowd, but ain't that a good thing? I'm the Saturday morning cartoon crowd, and I want, I want it. But maybe that's me, It doesn't have to be you guys. But the reviews are good. I didn't know maybe if I was alone in this. That's why I wanted to kind of bring it up, because to me, I think this looked awesome all along, and now it's nice to know that it's holding up with reviews, but it just seemed like maybe some people didn't think it looked all that awesome. So I found that a little bit confusing. And I also thought this was very interesting. So Robert Eggers, okay, we did some talk about Nosferatu. Here's my impression of Bill Skarsgård as Count Orlok. I can't even. It's the lowest voice I've ever heard. It's like way down. It's like, like our very own Travis Hobson. It's like that deep, Oh, nice. Danny MB. You saw it here yesterday and you loved it. That's the new Zemeckis joint, right? Robert Zemeckis, man. He's made some of my favorite movies, and he has made some of my least favorite movies. So this was interesting anyway. With Nosferatu on the mind, you guys like the ADD there. But with Nosferatu on the mind, I thought this was an interesting article. Robert Eggers becomes the babe with the power as his plans to write and direct a Labyrinth sequel are confirmed. This is interesting. Now, this is a fun little anecdote here. The Labyrinth was a classic movie that was a blind spot for me. Even though I love David Bowie and I love 80s cinema, love Jennifer Connelly, I had always not seen The Labyrinth. No, that's not true. I had seen it, but in passing. I never really sat down and actively watched it. So last year it was out in theaters, so I went to go see it at the movies with my friends and my wife, and I fell in love. I thought it was such a blast. Seeing it in theaters too, I think made it even better. And it was a restored version, so it looked really good, and it was just so magical, and I got so swept up in it. So you can imagine, being kind of a relatively, new member of the Labyrinth cult, seeing that Robert Eggers is writing and directing a direct sequel to The Labyrinth. This makes me very, very excited. Let's read some of the article. Plot details for Eggers' Labyrinth sequel remain more mysterious than Jareth's magnificent package. Though sources say the film is a sequel, not a remake, to Henson's timeless puppet-populated masterpiece. Eggers will write the script with Sojon, his writing partner for 2022's The Northman. The duo is also tackling Eggers' newly announced werewolf film, which is it's a period piece he's doing. To sweeten the pot, Chris and Eleanor Columbus will produce alongside Lisa Henson, with Brian Henson as the executive producer. So the Jim Henson estate is involved in this, which is why I think it's worthy of us getting excited about. Because obviously, if they were going to do this with CGI puppets, this is why Robert Eggers is actually the only person who should be touching this. Because Robert Eggers will not use CGI in that way. He won't replace practical with CGI. It might be in there, but you won't know it. You know what I mean? Like there's obviously a little bit of CGI in Nosferatu. There has to be for some of those scenes, but it's so tasteful and so minimal that it doesn't take you out of the movie, and they can really put enough attention to just making it look good. I think this is going to be a good thing. I think Robert Eggers is going to use, obviously he's got the Hensons involved. They're as producers. So we're talking puppets again. We're getting puppets on screen as these creatures. This is a good thing, I think. I'm actually kind of excited. Yeah, Kojo Asanti, I agree with this, actually. We need a best stunts Oscar. We do. It's weird that we don't have that. Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Alistair says, I don't think it'll happen. The article I read says Jim Henson is directing and he died years ago. Yeah, but this, I don't know. I think if Robert Eggers is saying it, I think that means it's a done deal. Because he's only done 4 movies. He just confirmed Werewolf, so that'll be his 5th movie. And I don't think he would say that this is happening if he didn't already have the deal, you know, in the works. So I think it is happening. I don't know. I hope so. Here's a clip from Ghostbusters that I really like.
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.
The reason I feel like that one deserved to go in there is just because Robert Eggers was able to get the rights to The Labyrinth to make a direct sequel with no Jim Henson, with no David Bowie, and I still think he's going to pull it off. So he came, he saw, he kicked its ass. The thing I like about Robert Eggers is I trust Robert Eggers with a movie. You know, like, I liked The Witch. I loved The Lighthouse. I like The Northman. I loved Nosferatu. So he's got a good track record with me, man. The Lighthouse is my favorite. The Lighthouse was my favorite Robert Eggers movie before Nosferatu, and I think it still is. Because The Lighthouse, I don't know. The Lighthouse, it's cozy in a way, which is so disturbing, but it kind of has the same, like, cozy factor as The Shining. It's a descent into madness in an isolated location, but it's Robert Eggers style, you know? So it's dirty, it's salty, it's gross. You can feel the texture, and I like that, you know? All right, you guys want to do a little bit of a Q&A? Looked like some of you said you were interested. I'll tell you what, you guys can ask me anything for the last like 5 minutes of the show. How about that? We'll do a little 5-minute ask me anything, and then I have some movie recommendations for you. So if you guys have any questions, this could be Joe Blow questions. This could be hot topics. This could be my opinion on something. I made this little animation for you guys, so hopefully you enjoy that. Let me know what your questions are. I know I'm a little bit like there's a little bit of a lag between me and the chat, so I'm gonna try to get to them in the order that I receive them. Okay, first question's in. Best YouTuber Oscar award. Should there be one? No. If there was one, Joe Blow would be my nominee. Yeah, best YouTube channel Oscar would go to Joe Blow for me. My favorite Oscar host and Best Picture winner. Ooh. Off the top of my head, I don't know. I'd have to look at the Best Picture winner year by year and who hosted, because in my mind, it's all kind of a mess. So I don't know. Off the top of my head, I don't know, but I've been really proud of some Best Picture winners. No, as of right now, there is no further information on Constantine 2 with Keanu, other than I saw it on a slate for releases in 2026, which is not happening. Sam Parker wants to know, do all the rooms in my house have the same purple glow? Yes. Yes. Outside of the studio, every single wall is lit up with lights, and my power bill is fucked. So make sure you leave me a super chat. Biggest Oscar snub in history. Could happen this year. We'll see. I don't know. There's a lot of famous Oscar snubs, but I think one that felt like kind of a, I don't know, a slap in the face. Actually, I don't know. You know, I feel like every year there's snubs that I complain about, but like as an overarching theme, I think the biggest Oscar snub is the fact that horror movies don't make it into the Oscars almost ever. You know, but I don't know. Maybe Toni Collette as Best Actress for Hereditary. That was maybe something that I fully expected to happen, and when it didn't, I felt a little sad about that. Yeah, maybe Lord of the Rings for Best Picture. Maybe Lord of the Rings, the original trilogy by Peter Jackson, is probably my favorite movie trilogy of all time. I love it so much. To me, those are the best pictures, you know? Ooh, this is a great one. Brian Stevens. What's a movie that people would be shocked to know that I haven't seen? Oh, there's a few. I don't want to give away too many, because I might use this on like the next installment of Cinema Confessions After Dark. Now we know. But I don't know, what's one that'll surprise you guys? I haven't seen man, I don't know. There's not that many movies that I haven't seen, but there are classics I'm sure that I haven't seen. What's one that would shock you though? I'm gonna think. I need to think of a good one. You know what? This will shock you guys. You know what movie? No, sorry. That's one that I don't like, not one that I haven't seen. Damn, what have I not seen that'll shock you? I didn't watch Anatomy of a Fall last year. That was one that that was like an Oscar movie that everybody was buzzing about, that everybody loved, and I didn't see it. What else? I would have said Planet of the Apes up until last year. I saw it and loved it. You know what? I still haven't completed 2001: A Space Odyssey. I like Stanley Kubrick, and I still have not completed that movie because I don't enjoy it that much. So there you go. There's good. Mr. Bucketman. Okay, I'm stuck on an island and I can only bring 3 movies. Here we go. I'm going to try to do this as true to myself as possible. Number 1, Almost Famous, directed by Cameron Crowe, because I think in general that's my favorite movie. And it's certainly one of them. Number 2 would be... Let's see. If the first one's Almost Famous, that movie has a lot going on. It's drama and it's funny. Movie number 2 that I would bring would probably be Ghostbusters, the original. That would be like my comedy movie that's coming with me. So I've got Almost Famous. I've got Ghostbusters. I need something like, maybe Castaway, because if I'm stuck on an island, I would want a movie that I can really relate to, and that would be Castaway. So Almost Famous, Castaway, and I'm going to change the other one. So Almost Famous, Castaway, and my comedy movie I'm going to bring Friday as a, you know, just to remind me of how much I love movies, hood movies. Sigourney Weaver, best Oscar for lead actress was a snub. Was that like in 78 for Alien? Because I don't know. I'm way too young to have an opinion on who else was nominated that year. Saving Private Ryan. Yeah, that's a good, I mean, you know, that's a good movie. Oh, we're talking snubs in the Oscars. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, Sigourney Weaver for Alien. A few people have said that. I love Aliens. Another one of my favorite movies. Do I think Forrest Gump deserved Best Picture? I like Forrest Gump, but no, I wouldn't have given it Best Picture. Probably not. Alistair Campbell. Never watched The Godfather. I did not care for The Godfather. I like The Godfather. I like Francis Ford Coppola. I did not like Megalopolis. Don't know anyone who did. Glindlebro 83. Watchmen should have won an Oscar for best of. Yeah. The opening credits in the Watchmen movie were good, but that's, First of all, if opening title sequences was an Oscar category, I should be the host for that. Me and Glindlebro should be hosts for that. So the Academy, if you're watching this, hit us up. Jack Nicholson deserved it for. Jack Nicholson deserved to be the third Joker to win. I don't know. If I could meet any living celebrity, who would I want to meet? Todd McFarlane, probably. He's the creator of Spawn, but he also drew and wrote some of my favorite Spider-Man comic books, and I admire him very much. So maybe Todd McFarlane. You know what? Guillermo del Toro. If I could meet one celebrity living, it would be Guillermo del Toro. He's one of my favorite directors, and I also would just love to see his house and talk to him about movies and horror and comics, and it would just be everything. So that's got to be it. Yeah, Alistair, this is actually, I just said the other day, my favorite scene ever shot on film in any movie is the Tiny Dancer scene on the bus in Almost Famous. And you know what I love about it is, I literally just talked about this the other day, but what I love about it is that's a scene that starts off, there's a tension in that bus. They pick up Russell from the party. The band had a fight the night before. He walked out. It was chaos. There's tension rising and rising and rising. They get on this bus, and it's palpable. You feel it in the movie. Everybody on that bus is on eggshells. There's this dark cloud. And then you hear the piano. And then Elton John's Tiny Dancer comes on. And slowly, everybody on the bus comes in at different times, right? It starts off as kind of a blue jean baby. There's like one guy singing, LA lady. But then Jason Lee comes in. And then before you know it, Kate Hudson comes in. And then, Patrick, what's his name? Fugit comes in. And then Billy Crudup finally, to kick it all off, just you can see the look in his face, sheds it all, forgives everybody. Everybody forgives him. And for a moment, they're all just singing this beautiful song in this bus, and you feel it all. There's like a texture to that scene. Whew. Wow, sorry. That was quite a rant, but I agree with you. They're all that to say I agree. It was a good scene. Yeah, I know. All right, let's see. Brian Stevens. If I could make a sequel to any movie, what would it be? Do you know what? I would make a Sherlock Holmes 3. With Robert Downey Jr. And he would play Iron Man and Doctor Doom and Sherlock Holmes and Watson and Moriarty and Irene Adler and God. So probably that. Maybe a Sherlock Holmes 3. If I could get Guy Ritchie to come back and do it, would be sick. I would like to see. There's a lot of horror sequels that I would like to see. Probably some stuff that'll never happen. But if I had to choose one, like a studio movie, Sherlock Holmes 3 would be sick. And I would take a follow-up maybe to like Rushmore to figure out what happened to Max Fisher from Rushmore. That would be fun. I would like that. Glindlebro says, Todd McFarlane is one of my heroes. In comic books, it's him and Stan Lee. Those are two people that I look up to in life and business, and I love them. Yeah, we should do What Happened to Cameron Crowe. The thing is, dude, like, if we were to do that, I would have to be the guy because I love all of his movies. I love Vanilla Sky. I love Say Anything. He wrote Fast Times. I love that. I even love We Bought a Zoo. Vanilla Sky, though, and Almost Famous. And Jerry Maguire. Oh my God, dude. Cameron Crowe is the king, bro. Oh, History Lover says I need to do that in the... Yeah. Well, first of all, are you the one guy that watches my scene breakdown show? You know, we canceled the show, but thank you for watching it while it was on. I loved doing it. Yeah, the HBO. Oh, yo, Brian, we are going to talk about that actually right now, my friend. We are going to talk about that right now because the final kind of sequence I have for you guys, the final segment for tonight before we log off, is I wanted to share with you guys my watch list.
Well, if you'll just
my
tell
watch
me the
log.
title of the
This is
movie, I'm
everything
sure he'll
that I
hold it
watched.
for you.
Don't hurt yourself, buddy. I'll go to Big Choice Video instead.
What I watched this week. This was kind of a slow week for me. I didn't have a lot of time on my hands this week. I usually find myself watching, more movies, but I watched about 5 movies and a TV show this week, and this was my watch list. Not in any particular order. These are just the 5 movies that I logged this week. I watched Night Bitch, Amy Adams' new film, which was interesting. This one I thought was like I didn't watch the trailer. I went into this cold. I saw the title and the poster, and I was like, that's all I want to know. I'm going to watch the movie when I can, and I'm going to avoid anything about it. Interestingly, a lot of my friends saw this film before I did, and they didn't. Yes, I even liked Elizabethtown, Alistair. I even liked Elizabethtown with Orlando Bloom and Kirsten Dunst. Actually, there's an Elton John needle drop in that movie, almost as good as the Almost Famous one. They do My Father's Gun when he's like traveling home. So good. Okay, sorry guys. Yeah, the Hellboy movies are great. I love Guillermo del Toro. Kojo, you're speaking my language, man. Yeah, so Night Bitch. A lot of my friends didn't like it. They said that they just didn't really get it. They thought it was maybe like a stronger concept than execution. I thought this movie was fun as hell. The soundtrack and score both really good. I've been listening to it all week on Apple Music. I really like the soundtrack and score. This is probably the first Amy Adams performance where I really enjoy her in the role. Like I have no beef with her. I just never thought she was like that great. But in this movie, I like it. I like it. She's a little like, she kind of like has given up on herself, and she has this like deadness in her eyes of like defeat and desperation. And it's just very believable. It's a very good movie. I liked it. It was nice. Then I watched Nope. Definitely my favorite Jordan Peele movie. I like all 3 of them. Nope is my favorite, but that's probably also one of my favorite movies to come out in the last decade. I love Nope. I've seen this movie 6 or 7 times. Every time I watch it, I laugh. I find it intense. I love Michael Wincott is in the movie, and I love his voice. It's a great movie. Keke Palmer and Daniel Kaluuya, two very charming people, and they're so fun to watch. So I think Nope. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Then I watched 1990s Flatliners. This is not the remake from modern day. I don't even know when the remake came out. This is the 1990 Flatliners with Kiefer Sutherland, Kevin Bacon, Julia Roberts, Oliver Platt is in this movie. This movie's fun. I like Flatliners. I had seen it before. But I didn't remember I didn't really remember like if I enjoyed it. I just kind of remember like seeing it and not really having a lot of feelings about it. But I like Flatliners. I love Kevin Bacon in this movie. And he's one that like, he's been around so long that we all know Kevin Bacon, but once in a while you sit down, you watch a Kevin Bacon movie of old and you go, God, he really was good at acting, still is, but I just mean like he always had it. I rewatched White Men Can't Jump with Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson. This is another movie that had a recent remake, but I did not see the remake. I love White Men Can't Jump. I love Wesley Snipes, but even more, I love Woody Harrelson in this movie. I think Spike Lee makes good movies in general, but this one is my favorite, and I love it still. I also watched Matchstick Men. This is an underrated Ridley Scott movie that I highly recommend if you haven't seen it. And then Spawn. I started rewatching the Spawn HBO series. I got through like the first 5 episodes, and god damn it, is that show so good. It is so good. It's on HBO. If you guys haven't seen it, go watch it. It's so good. Alistair Campbell. This is interesting. I would love to see a sequel to Alita Battle Angel. Sets are still there with Robert Rodriguez, Charles Michaels. Alistair, this is funny because I don't know if you're doing this on purpose, but I went to Troublemaker Studios in Austin and I made a video specifically about everything you're saying in this comment. I don't know, maybe you're doing it as a joke, but I literally made a video about that. It's on the internet right now. I went to Troublemaker and I met Robert Rodriguez and I toured the studio. It was awesome. It was awesome. You should see Flatliners, Kojo. That's a recommend from me for this weekend. If you have nothing to watch, I'll pull up the poster. Flatliners is great, man. Flatliners is kind of one of those like, it's kind of like, I don't know, they still make movies like this, but for some reason now they feel different. Like this movie now would feel a lot like a shitty, like Pretty Little Liars, like the remake of The Craft or some shit. But at, you know, I don't know, maybe it's because it was a different time. I don't really know why, but at the time, these kinds of movies felt different and they weren't cringe. Flatliners is one of those movies that is not cringe, but if you kind of made it today, it would be very like I don't know, like almost like the new cast of Scream, but without the, you know, like without like the coolness. So okay, Alistair, I believe you. I just think that's crazy. Yeah, I did a whole video about that, man. Hilarious. All right, guys. Hopefully, I answered all of your most burning questions, but I very much appreciate you guys coming and checking out the live stream tonight. One thing that I want to stress to you is that these things would not be as fun as they are without you guys and your comments. So thank you to all of you keeping the conversations interesting and keeping it from being one-sided. I love that. And as you all know, my goal is to build a community on this channel and with this live show, and it just means a lot that I can come on here and do this with you guys. So thank you all so much. Don't forget to check out our merch. Don't forget to check out the channel, like, subscribe, all of that stuff. We're closing in on 1 million subscribers on this channel, guys, and I would love for that to happen this year. Maybe we can even catch it on a live. So hopefully it happens, but if not, no, it'll happen. Let's manifest it. All right, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. I love you all. Here's
case I
one
don't
more
see
clip
ya.
before we go.
Good afternoon, good evening, and
Good evening, good night. All right, everybody. Good night.